Episode 143. Today we answer fan questions, recap the Guardian series, and preview the upcoming series against the Los Angeles Angels. You're listening to the Bucco Bantr podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101s, yeah, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates, can they let me run the base? Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Banter. It's been a long week at the ballpark. I was there 5 games, Adam. I believe you were there for 6. Still, I'm pretty excited to watch it from the couch for the next week, get a little bit of a break. But have a lot of exciting news to talk about, some exciting stuff on the Bucco Banner side. Before that, you want to get into a quick ad read?
Real quick, this episode would not be possible without Total Sports Enterprises. Make sure you go over to tseshop.com to get all your Pittsburgh memorabilia needs. That includes Steelers, Penguins, Pirates. More specifically, Andrew McCutchen is doing a signing, and right now you could send in your own item, whether that's a photo or whatever you prefer. You can get a bat signed, ball, helmet, and much more. Just go over to tseshop.com. The link for tseshop.com is in the description of this episode. Click that and let them know Bucco Banter sent you. Scott, it was a long week. It was a really long week. Ups and downs. We said it in our Nationals recap. Although they took 3 of 4, the same issues were very present. And those issues were very apparent in the Guardian series. However, on the personal side of things, if you didn't know, now you know, we are credentialed. We are media members. Let that sink in.
No, that's crazy. Shout out to the Pirates for, having faith and trusting us to be there. And we got a taste of it in spring training, but it's pretty cool to do it at PNC Park this weekend.
Absolutely, man. We showed up very early. We were very excited. I think we were there probably 3 hours before any player even showed up. Yeah. Just because we were very anxious to get out there, get a feel for the land, chilled in the dugout for a little bit, talked to a lot of people that worked in the park. All around awesome experience. Cannot wait to do it again. We have some awesome interviews coming out. A lot of relievers, let's say. A lot of relievers. It was the 405 games, they don't take BP all the time. A lot of guys stay inside and take BP. So maybe the next time we're out there, we'll have some different interviews, but very, very cool. Again, like you said, thank you to the Pirates. Super grateful for that opportunity to have the trust in this podcast. We only started about a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
We're at now, so I can't wait to see where it takes us. Scott, let's get into it real quick because it was bad. It still is bad. We can't cover that up. Like I said, they won 3 or 4 from the Nationals, and it was embarrassing this weekend because there was games they should have won. There was games where you have quality starts and they didn't take advantage of it, which has been a very common theme of the year. And I put out a message on our socials. Didn't even tell you. I
was like,
you probably saw all the messages coming in.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know necessarily if we were going to answer these tonight, but I wanted to get a gauge of where the fans are at. Although I get where they're at. A lot of why do we suck? Why do we do this to ourselves? Yada, yada, yada. I'll put those all in one basket and just answer that. You did it to yourself. You were born in the wrong area. Sucks to suck. You're already in too deep. Just hop on the train. It's going to keep moving forward no matter what. If you love baseball, you just got to stick with it, man. I hate saying this right now. You never know what can happen week to week in Major League Baseball. Yes, I understand it's bad right now. I think Scott would say the same thing. And saying it's bad might be an understatement. They are bad right now. Everything in all aspects outside of pitching which we'll talk about a little later, has been pretty atrocious from all standpoints. So why do they suck? Watch the games. You can figure that out for yourselves. Let's go into some real questions. First question is, how can the manager and GM justify hitting 5 to 6 players below the Mendoza line? Yeah. And also, why does this team refuse to bunt? Is it because they refuse to or they don't know how to? I'll address the last part first, and I think we might have a disagreement on this slightly. Bunting is overrated. Bunting, while it could help good teams that know how to take advantage and capitalize on good scenarios, and while it's a needed skill, making that a primary part of your offense or counting on small ball, i.e. stealing bases, laying down bunts, is not going to push the needle for this team. I think you probably agree with a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the team just doesn't slug. We say it a billion times. You need to hit the ball over the fence. You need to get a guy on second base. We cannot rely on single. Hope you could swipe second and then driving a runner in, or just in our scenario, single, steal second, then bunt him over. That's a lot of things to go right, especially for this team. So my answer to that is they probably know how to do it. Granted, not well, but I don't think that's an issue at all. I think the issue is they can't slug.
I don't necessarily disagree with you because they absolutely can't slug. So I think that's fairly obvious. I'm not necessarily an advocate for bunting. I am an advocate for them being more creative when it comes to situational hitting. They don't get guys on second and third much, but it seems like when they do, there's been a lot of missed opportunities with guys in second and third, runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs. And I think that's what they need to capitalize on. And they're not able to get a lot of those guys in often. It seems like at least in the early part of the season. So they got to get a little bit more creative in these situations, whether that's bunting, whether that's hit and runs and whatnot. They need to definitely, that's a part of the game that needs to be improved because we know they're not going to slug a lot if they maintain this roster.
The first part of that question.
First part of that question. Why do they have so many guys? Why does the manager and GM run out so many guys that are below the Mendoza line? Well, the manager doesn't really have a choice. This is the roster he's given. If you look at the stat sheet, most of them are below the Mendoza line right now. A lot of them are underperforming, or I don't even know if I'd call it underperforming. The GM does have a choice. All right. And this is the roster that they've chose to keep in Pittsburgh at the major league level. This is the roster they think gives them the best chance to win, which we have some disagreements there on. They have some guys in AAA. We know the jump to AAA to the big leagues is the biggest it's ever been. But a lot of these guys in Pittsburgh, we know what we have with them. We've had an ample sample size. In AAA, there's some guys at this point, it's just like, why not see what you have in a Matt Gorski? Why not bring up a Piguero? Why not see what you can get with Nick York and Billy Cook? There's a lot of names, not sexy names, but a lot of names that could get opportunities here. And I don't know. I feel like sooner rather than later, there's a lot of season left, but something's going to have to change.
Yeah, I think you could do a lot of finger pointing. I agree with you. What are you supposed to do? You could do a lot of finger pointing at Derek Shelton for some managerial decisions, but from a roster construction standpoint, he's given nothing.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, he's been given nothing in 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. We have not added talent to this team. And you answered actually quite a few questions already that were on this list, because a lot of people asked about when Billy Cook is going to get an opportunity, when Nick York is going to get an opportunity. I think that falls into roster construction for guys, especially like Nick York. You have a billion of Nick Yorks, not necessarily saying that the ceilings are the same and that he's young and he still probably has room to grow, but you have Jared Triolo and Manuel Valdez, who actually is hitting the ball pretty well. Go over to Baseball Savant. It's actually very surprising.
Yeah.
Jared
792
Triolo,
OPS.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking better hitters on the team, you probably don't want to take that guy out of your lineup right now. And then you have Adam Frazier and IKF. There's a lot of the same. right? And maybe things change up when Spencer Horwitz gets back to full strength. I know he's down in Bradenton to get live at bats, and then his rehab assignment's going to start. But it's not like Billy Cook's tearing it up in AAA. And you just said it yourself, the jump from AAA to Major League level is the greatest it's ever been. Billy Cook's hitting 200 right now at AAA Indy.
Nick York has had a slower week in AAA, but we know what he's had a very substantial sample size of at bats at the AA and AAA level so far. So I don't know. At some point, they're going to have to make a change here. Spencer Horwitz is getting live at bats soon. I mean, obviously, we saw him in Pittsburgh yesterday. He's going down to Bradenton soon, you said?
He's going down to Bradenton. He's probably there right now. Okay. He's going to get live at bats in Bradenton this week, and then his rehab assignment will start. So he'll probably go to Altoona.
Yeah.
And then from there to Indy, and then he'll be back, 2 to 3 weeks?
Day? Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Jack Sawinski in the MLB? That's our next question. And
go for it, Adam. Because I could go for it.
Yeah, I'll just sum it up for Scott because quick answer, I don't know. I don't know. He wouldn't be on any other team in Major League Baseball right now. He has a 14 WRC plus. Okay. For those of you who don't know, that's weighted runs created plus. It takes into account a vast variety of things to see how a player is. Okay. 100 is the average. He's at a 14. Okay. Slugging 154. Average 128, on base percentage 244, 0 home runs. He has not hit the ball over the fence. Scott, real quick, what is Jack Sawinski known for when he is good?
Home runs.
Yeah, he has 0 of them. This year, his K rate is at 42.2%. 42.2.
That's above what is like acceptable at the big league level. and yeah.
Go on. No, go on.
No, I mean, like you look at guys, like we start to get worried when guys get north of 30. 42% is, I mean, that's Kevin Kramer level to bring it back. Like that's unplayable. It really is.
Yeah. And what has been Jack Sawinski's problems in the past 3 years? Strikeouts. And I just mentioned 42.2% right now. Last year, 28.5. Maybe a little bit. I mean, we have a bigger sample size.
I'll take 28.5 from him.
Okay. 23, 32.2. 22, 30.6. He has a 42.2% strikeout rate right now.
Gotten significantly worse.
Okay. We were on the field. We're watching him take BP.
Effortless power.
First swing. Boom. Like right center. No problem. He's clearly working on things, and I think he gets in his head too much, where now it's just one thing after another. Last year, it's like, okay, let's eliminate chase. Let's be a little bit more disciplined. Let's swing the bat more. Like, let's not strike out as much. Like, we need power. It's just too much going on for Jack Sawinski. It's too much. So why is he on a major league team right now? He shouldn't be. You just said it. It's unplayable.
I wonder how many he's gotten more runway than most guys get at this level of play with this sample size. I mean, I've said sample size a lot in this episode so far, but that seems to be a reoccurring theme here. I mean, does he have options left? Because this is a guy that has over 1,000 big league at bats. Yeah. And what are we waiting to see here? It's crazy just the amount of runway. People like to point out, Shelton's gotten 6 years and he's had 6 losing seasons or is about to. The runway he gets is unbelievable with not much resources given to him. But Jack Sawinski's been given so much runway as a rostered big leaguer, and we're trying to win. At least that's what they say. What does he bring to the table at this point? We can't afford to keep guys on the roster that don't bring any value, because there isn't any. Like, right, I think the defense has been a little bit better this year, but not good enough to justify playing him at a 42% K rate.
Yeah, at that point you just try someone else.
Yeah,
it's unplayable. You just simply try someone else, because if you're looking at the pros, he's a lefty and a better defender than most that we have on the team, which isn't saying much right now, but 42.2% is unacceptable. Scott, what are your thoughts? Here's another question. What are your thoughts on Cruz and McCutchen each having a quote unquote day off in this series when they're both batting better than anyone else on the team as of late?
Yeah. So what I don't get about that, here's where I disagree with Shelton. I don't really understand these days off and the shuffling around of the lineup so much. I get, and we'll be the first to tell you that he doesn't have much to work with there. But you got to play the hot hand, especially when you got a guy like Skenes on the mound. I feel like we have really weird lineups, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we have really weird lineups when Skenes is on the hill. You need your veterans out there. You need your O'Neill Cruz, and I know he's been like probably the worst defensive center fielder, but that bat has been really hot this year. And maybe he didn't want to start him against Logan Allen, a lefty, not a lefty that's going to blow anything past you, right? He's more of a spot up guy. But then you bring him in to pinch hit against the lefty later in the game. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on. And then yesterday, when at the pinch hit situation towards the end of the game, Bart, IKF, and Kutcher are available, and we pinch hit Canario. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. I don't really get it. So
I don't need to add anything else to that. Yeah, that's what it is. Is it time to start telling the people to, in fact, let the Buccos get hot, Scott?
Was that?
Keep saying question? Don't let them get hot.
Okay.
Is it time to start saying let them get hot? That is a question from X.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna calm down on my don't let them get hot. And I'm going to start, reverse psychology. Let them get hot. See what happens.
I think that's a very smart move. And then the last question we'll be answering. Scott, what's your dream team tag match for Pirates Media? It's WrestleMania right now. You're allowed to pick one traditional media member and one non-traditional nitwit blogger per team. So you could have either two traditional per team, or you could split it in half.
So a tag team? So these
tag team. Yeah. So we'll go, it's 2-on-2.
Okay. Ooh, man.
Who are you going with? Off the bat, you got Stumpf, you got Hiles, Gorman, Parada. We'll throw in some podcasters, Rosati, DiNardo, Stam, Gary Morgan, Colin Beasley, Hannah Mears, DK, Tyler from NS9. You could throw us in there if you want. I don't know why you would.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. This is just for entertainment purposes. I am gonna go. Oh, these aren't real media, but I'm just gonna go for the sake of entertainment here. Chris of Renegades of the Rotunda. I know that's not media, but Chris is a big part of the Pirates. Yeah, with Douglas from the North Shore 9 podcast. Doug is an absolute menace, and I feel like he'd be underrated in the ring. His quote cards have been keeping me entertained throughout the week. So I'm going to go Doug and Chris.
I love that. You know what? I'll just go Hiles Stumpf then.
Okay, there we go.
I'm going to throw the two
non-media against
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got that out of the way.
Nitwit pirate, nitwit blogger versus two actual bloggers.
Yeah. I'd love to see Stumpf and Hiles go at it. Let's go. I think they make a great combo there. All right, let's talk real baseball. The Pirates played the Guardians. They got swept, Scott.
Yep.
It was an embarrassing weekend of baseball. There's a lot that we can get into. Before we do, Tim Mesa to the 15-day IL. Do we want to mention anything past that? I think we don't.
Yeah, let's just leave it.
Let's just say we talked to Tim on Saturday.
We're a big Tim Mesa podcast. Okay. Like, we're fans. Tim is like one of our favorite guys on the team. Very nice. One of the most personal players we've talked to, I think. So big fan of him. Hope he gets back soon.
I'll get us kicked off. Friday versus the Guardians. They lost 10-7. This looks closer than it was. Okay. Baczynski, 4 innings pitched, 9 hit, 5 earned, 2 walks, 1 home run. He's got a 7.41 ERA, 45 strikes on 64 pitches. He had 6 groundouts and 3 flyouts. Here's the problem with Carmen. Go figure. He has a hard time when he gets through the lineup. Once. Wonder who would be good in that type of role, maybe like one inning later on in games where this stuff really plays for short stints. If they create that position, let me know, Scott. Bullpen. Joey Wentz, 2 innings pitched, 2 Ks. Kyle Nicholas has struggled since he has been up. He had a third of an inning pitch, 3 hits, 5 earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Then Tim Meza, 1 2/3, 2 hits, 1 K. Of course, to the 15-day IL the next day. And then Justin Lawrence has stayed hot, 1 inning pitch, 2 Ks. The offense, Reynolds has started to get the back going a little bit, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a home run. Cruz had another leadoff home run with an RBI. And Manuel Valdez, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, 1 walk. As a team, 3 for 11 runners in scoring position, 8 left on base, 13 strikeouts, 5 walks, 11 hits, 2 stolen bases, and an error by Jared Triolo.
Don't hear that often.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Tough one. That was it. Definitely a lot closer. There was some last minute runs scored on the Pirates end at the end, but too little too late. Saturday, 3-0 loss against the Guardians on Skenes Bobblehead Day. Skenes with 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Gave up a home run. Kyle Manzardo. He crushed us this weekend. 13 whiffs though, 2.87 ERA. Ferguson went 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 Ks. He got 5 whiffs in that 1 inning and 1.64 ERA. David Bednar returned. 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 Ks. Was getting a little bit worried there about his inning. Pretty sure he got booed on his entrance, which is you hate to see, but yeah, Bednar returned to replace Tim Meza. Emmanuel Valdez, 1 for 3, had a 9th inning triple there at the end off of Emmanuel Clase. That tag where he pulled his hand off the bag to call timeout was the most Pirates play of all time. It's just something that would happen to the Pirates. I think that the play should have been dead by then.
Yeah, let's use some discretion.
Yeah, like a little bit of discretion there, which is a very unfortunate play. I've heard nothing but good things about Manny Valdez. Seems like a really, really cool guy, and he's actually been someone that we're not talking about enough as a valuable bat in this line that doesn't have many. Frazier and Triolo doubled. Cruz got his 10th stolen base. Only 6 hits total. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 6 left on base, 7 Ks. Not a lot happening offensively here.
No. Talk about Skenes real quick. Not striking as many guys out this year, but he's actually doing a better job of keeping guys off base. You know what his whip was last year, Scott?
Like 0.98 or something like that?
0.95.
Wow.
It's 0.8 right now. So he's still dominant, man. Like he looks good. But again, not scoring runs for guys.
Pretty sure league average is like 1.4. So like 0.8 is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, going into this game, they lost 11 out of 28 Skenes starts. 11 out of 28. And that was the 5th loss on the year where a starter on the Pirates completed 6 or more innings. Not great. And speaking of not scoring runs for your starting pitcher, the Pirates have not scored a run for Mitch Keller since April 4th. If that sounds familiar, we said it on the last podcast when he had a start, and now we're saying it again because on Sunday the Pirates lost to the Guardians in 10 innings, 5-4. Mitch Keller, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks. They did not score for him at all. This is not a terrible performance. It's not
enough to win.
Terrible. Yeah, it's enough to win. The bullpen's Lawrence, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit. Wentz, 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk. Chase Shugart, 2 innings pitch, 2 Ks. He's actually looked pretty decent. And then Dennis Santana came in extras, gave up a run. Frazier made a nice play, but you got the ghost runner on second base. Offense, Hayes 2 for 5 with 1 RBI. Reynolds 3 for 5 with 1 run. Pham had a double, 2 hits as a team. 2 for 11 runners in scoring position, 9 left on base, 9 Ks, 3 walks, 11 hits, and a stolen base by Adam Frazier. Good stole third base, got himself in scoring position. This is also not as close as it seemed. They were down 4-1 going into the 9th, and Emmanuel Clase blew
3rd day in a row. I'm shocked they brought him in, to be honest.
Just blew it. And then, right when they tied it, they hit into 2 double plays. 1 in the 9th and 1 in the 10th to end the game. First, it was Kutch, and then it was Cruz, I believe.
Yep.
Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal. Just when you think like, hey, maybe we'll sneak one win out of this series, the next week is going to be tough. It could be horrendous, all things considered. Couldn't squeeze it out. And it's because bad teams do not win these games. And you cannot. One of the questions that we didn't answer is why does this team only seem to hit towards the end of the games? And maybe there's no sense of urgency. Maybe guys they don't have a good feel for their approach at the plate right now and what they're doing, and it takes them a while to get going. But that's just not how baseball. You can't only hit in the 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah, they really need really need a veteran leader to stand up, man, especially on the offensive side. Like I think Paul Skenes can be a leader on the pitching side, and I think they've got some veterans that have stepped up, even the past couple of years that they've brought in on free agency that have stepped up and been good leaders. But they're badly in need of a leader on the offensive side. So, Adam, let's take a quick break. And we're going to come back and talk about the Angels series. We have tomorrow off. And by the way, I just checked Twitter. I haven't checked it in like a half hour. So many questions.
A lot. So, that is a lot.
My phone's blowing up. But yeah, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about the Angels series.
Scott, the Pirates are on the West Coast. We're going to be West Coast bucking, late night bucking this week. So I know you mentioned we have the week off, but we're going to be up late, buddy, watching them play the Angels and the Dodgers. But first, they go to the Angels, who have gotten off to a 10-10 start. They got off to a hot start. They've cooled down a little bit. But Tuesday, it's going to be right-handed pitcher Jose Soriano versus Bailey Falter. This was the Pirates' first overall pick in the Rule 5 draft in 2020, underwent his second Tommy John surgery, and then returned to the Angels in November of 2021. 2024, last year, 6-7, 3.42 ERA in 22 games, 113 innings pitched, 97 Ks with a 1.20 whip. This year, 2-2 with a 3.16 ERA in 4 games, 1.25 whip, 20 Ks in 25 2/3 innings pitched. Arsenal, sinker, 58%, sits around 96 to 97 miles per hour. Curveball, 24%, around 85 miles per hour. And then he has a slider, a split, and a four-seam that he can mix in there. At most, he's probably going to sit to 96 to 97 on the sinker and on the four-seam. Heavy fastball usage here, sitting high 90s, generating a ton of ground balls. He struggled with command a little bit and durability. Obviously, he's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, but a devastating knuckle curve with power and movement. So they will face right-handed pitcher Jose Soriano on Tuesday. Scott, who do we have on Wednesday?
Wednesday, Adam, we have right-hander Jack Kohanowitz. He's a fairly young arm. He's going to be facing Andrew Heaney. Last year, he debuted. He went 2-6 with a 3.99 ERA and 65 1/3 innings pitched. 11 games started, 25 Ks and a 119 whip. This is a 6'7", 228-pound righty. He's a big guy. This year, he started 1-2 with a 6.20 ERA and 20 1/3 innings pitched. 4 games started, 10 Ks and a 1.48 whip. A little bit of a slower start. This was a 2019 third-round pick out of a high school in Philly. Overwent his commitment to UVA to go to the Angels. So this is a fairly high-profile arm. He throws 4 pitches, very fastball heavy, sinker, four-seam. Sinker throws 51% of the time. Four-seam, he throws 25% of the time. They both sit 95 to 96. The slider and sweeper, 20% of the time and 4% of the time. So he's got more of like a slider and a curve. He'll throw the slider in the upper 80s, the curve in the mid 80s. He changed his delivery since getting drafted, lowered his arm slot. The two-seamer has a ton of run that sits mid-90s, touches 98, 99, generates a ton of ground balls. He's from 6'7", he's coming straight downhill at you, even from that lower slot. He tends to leave it up in the zone, he can get hit pretty hard. Could be a lot more effective if he kept that pitch down. He could just get balls getting beaten to the ground. The 2 breaking balls still need refining, but they've shown flashes of missing bats. So he's going to be fastball heavy, man. He's going to come at you with those 2 different looks, the four-seam and the sinker. and may struggle with command of the breaking pitches. We'll see.
Thursday, another former Bucco. This is the third series in a row where we faced a former Bucco. You had Trevor Williams, Luis Ortiz, and now Tyler Anderson versus Carmen Majinski. Tyler Anderson, 2024, 10-15, 3.81 ERA in 179 innings pitched, 31 games, 142 strikeouts with a 1.29 whip. This year, 2-0, 2.08 ERA and 21 2/3 innings pitched, 4 games, 21 Ks, 1.06 whip. Here's the arsenal. Four seam goes to it about 43% of the time, sits around 80 to 89 miles per hour. Change 33% of the time at 78, so a real slow change up, and then a cutter, slider, and sinker to complement those two pitches. No single pitch here stands out, but the command makes his whole pitch arsenal keep batters guessing. Fastball still around 88 to 90, plus change with deception and fade. Average curveball with sweeping action. He limits hard contact. Tyler Anderson has been pretty good since he left the Buccos, and he was pretty decent at the tail end of his Buccos career, but he's been a good major league pitcher since.
He actually, since his time at the Buccos, his career's kind of taken a turn, and he's very mechanical, smart pitcher on the mound, a former first-round pick out of Oregon. He's going to be a tough face, so hopefully they can jump off to a quick start here. This Angels team isn't bad this year, man. 11-10 to start the season. They're above 500. Mike Trout's even gotten off to a slow start, but Kyron Paris, Logan O'Hoppe, they've got some young bats that are interesting. So, will be a fun series to watch. I think obviously Skenes is not going to series, so he'll probably start the Dodger series on Friday. But he grew up close to Angels Stadium, so it would have been cool to see him pitch there.
He was an Angels fan.
Yeah. Oh, was he? Okay. I didn't know if he was confirmed an Angels fan, but I knew he was from Orange County. So, Adam, before we get into our hitter and pitcher of the week, we have an announcement to make.
I mentioned we had 3 announcements last episode. One of them has already taken place. We have credentials now. Awesome, grand, fantastic. Here's the second announcement for all the Bucco Bantr fans out there. We will no longer be doing Down on the Farm. Wah, wah. Because
wait, what?
Yeah, there's more. A third episode will be added weekly. We will be recording Monday nights. The episodes will be releasing Tuesday mornings, and it is strictly a Pirates prospect and minor league show where we are going to be interviewing minor league prospects, players throughout the organization, and recapping everything happening down on the farm. I'm excited, man. We already have an interview lined up tomorrow that you guys will hear on Tuesday. We'll announce that once it takes place tomorrow. Really interesting one to get things started, and then I can't wait to see where it goes from there. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
I'm really pumped. I'm a big prospect nerd, and this will really give us a focus rather than just highlighting what's going on. We're still going to do our recaps, weekly recaps. Monday happens to be the day off for the minor leagues throughout the season, so it's a good day to record, to recap the past week. But we also hope to build relationships within the minor league farm system, get to know some of these prospects, introduce them to the Pirates community. This one tomorrow is exciting because he's a young guy, and I'm really excited to get his name out there. So I'm excited to learn more about him and have a conversation about baseball and his upbringing. But yeah, this is awesome. It's going to be probably a 30 to 40 minute show like usual, just focused on minor league baseball, focused on the farm system, what's happening in Indianapolis, Altoona, Greensboro, and Bradenton, maybe even the DSL, maybe at the complex. Who knows? So excited to see where this goes. But yeah, third episode a week. We're going to be working even harder.
And there might be more. There's another announcement coming. There's another one coming. We'll do that on Wednesday.
Everyone's like, come on, guys, just announce it already. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They told us, like you said, don't let us get hot, man. Do not let us get hot.
Or let us.
Or let us get hot. Let us get hot. Let's go to the players of the week. I'll get us started here. The hitter of the week is O'Neal Cruz, 6 for 25, 6 runs, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. He still hasn't been caught stealing. He leads the league, I believe, with 10, correct?
Yep.
awesome. Love to see that aspect to his game. We keep trying to see O'Neal take the next step. I know the defense has been iffy, but overall at the plate, it hasn't been terrible. O'Neal Cruz is our hitter of the week.
And our pitcher of the week, two-time pitcher of the week so far early on in the season, Andrew Heaney. It was tough. It was between him and Bailey Falter for the most part. We could have named some relievers too. I'm sure we'll get some relievers here soon because the bullpen's really been pitching well. But Andrew Heaney, 7 1/3 against Washington, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. He was pretty dominant, man. Pretty dominant. I don't even know if that stat line does him justice, even though it says 0 earned runs. Like, he looked pretty locked down the other day. So excited to see him continue to be a veteran presence in that rotation and win some more player of the weeks for us. Our prospect of the week will be announced on our Monday episode. So that's, I guess, another announcement that we can tie into tomorrow's new episode that's coming weekly. So you'll get to hear that before our interview. Other than that, man, it's been a fun week at the ballpark. We're going to be up late this week watching some West Coast baseball. Hopefully the Buccos can turn it around.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they can. That would be great.
That's all we have now, Adam, is hope.
Yeah.
Hope.
Let me tell you, that would be fantastic. If you don't already, go to the YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with a friend. More vlogs are going to be coming out. We really appreciate you guys watching those. Give some feedback, what you want to see at the park, any food reviews you want us to try, any players that you want us to try and talk to. Let us know. We'll try and make it happen. Go over to buccobantr.com. We saw some people wearing Bucco Bantr merch around the park this week. That is so cool. Thank you for the support. If you want to get your gear, buccobantr.com, or you can find it at justbaseball.shop. You can join the Just Baseball Discord as well. You can find the link for that in the description. And then, of course, go follow us on all socials. Follow, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And let's have a better week this week.
Very nice. I plan on it. I'll try
Absolutely. That's all you could do, man. And let's, for the first time in a while, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates. And